Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to our Anchorage Ice Tigers Draft to Glory franchise mode here in NHL 23. So we're back up here in the playoffs. We finished 51-26-5 during the regular season. We had a good start to the year. We kind of stumbled a little bit over the last couple months after that, but then we kind of went on a little bit of a tear near the end of the season, and yeah, we finished 51-26-5, and now we're going to be taking on the Blues, who went 43-30-9 in round one. They're a very interesting team. I don't know what their coach has why their coach has their team set up the way he does, but it's not terrible. It's going to be an interesting first round regardless, because you can see like they got Connor Bedard. He's dropped off a lot over the years. He was in Winnipeg, I believe, in this franchise mode, or was that Chicago? That was Chicago. He was drafted by the Blues. He's been here for over 1,600 games, which is nuts. So we got to face him. We got to face our former player in LaRose, so that should be interesting too. But basically, the main thing our team needs to do is shut down the second line. This second line of Ernie, Dryden, and DeMello is really good looking. And then you also have a good defenseman in Sarno. But like the team basically lacks a ton of depth, and that's the main problem, I think, is they're running into cap issues because Sullivan, Kozlov, goalie, Russo, Sillinger. And you have Cardwell, Mackey, and Yashin, who are all not really NHL caliber. Like, Cardwell and Yashin are kind of NHL caliber. But, like, when you get, like, a 72, a 77, a 71, a 74 in your lineup, it's not too great. And then their goaltending as well is kind of like, both of them are listed as minor starting goalies. One's actually an exact AHL starting goaltender. So it's like, I feel like we might get cheesed. But, obviously, they do have the offensive talent as well to do really good against us. So we basically got to shut down their top guns, and then hopefully their guys that we're kind of overestimating or underestimating don't come back to bite us. Like, hopefully this Kozlov guy doesn't randomly just score an OT winner. Like, he's a bottom 6 forward too. 5th round pick. So he should not be that type of player that could score on us in the playoffs, but more than likely he's going to come through with at least a goal. Like, one of these guys in the bottom 6 is going to do a lot better than I actually expect. That's my guess. So there's that. Let me show you guys our lines again just in case you forgot, but we might make some adjustments if we need to, which I don't think we do. I don't think we do. Because this top 6 was good during the regular season. Jansevsky worked well with Vico. Leeson was pretty good, but Jansevsky's going to win like Rookie of the Year, which is great. Gamble was solid down there. Yeah, I think I'm going to keep this the same, at least for now. Now, goaltending-wise, it's interesting because Pusher wasn't great during the regular season, but I still might give him a shot and see how good he does. But Novikov was definitely the better of the two. Both goaltenders not super good in general, so we might have to call up Bissick at some point. Now that we don't have to worry about waivers, so we'll see. We could also throw in one of these guys that are on depth purposes right now into the lineup if we really need to playoff-wise. Like if for some reason Hagos is doing terribly, we could always take one of these guys and throw them into the lineup and see how they do instead. But yeah, hopefully our veteran type of players like Hartnell, Keith, Parrott can get it done. Parrott's dropping off a lot overall-wise, potential-wise. Same with Claxton. Same with guys like Lehnan and Farrell. So there's going to likely be some big retirements this offseason if we lose this round, or any round for that matter. Or in general, I should say even. So let's keep the team the same, and yeah, let's see if we could win another playoff series. This might be the last chance for a lot of these guys. I hope that Parrott could get another Stanley Cup, because that'd be great, but obviously he's won 2. It'd be awesome for him to win a 3rd, but obviously it kind of sucks that we don't have Jorgensen here anymore, but he is probably in the press box, or he's maybe my assistant GM, something like that, to kind of help us out and build this team the right way. So we'll see what happens here. Game number 1 on home ice against the Blues. Let's see if we could take game 1. We should be able to easily win this series unless their top guys start playing really well. First period, 1-1. I guess I'll take that. Hartnell scores, and of course Gove, who's the 3rd-line center. He's actually one of the better players on the bottom 6, though. Scores on the power play. He's an 84 overall, so at least it's not like the 72. But watch, the 72 is going to probably score at least. Ricardo Hartnell at least scoring goals too. He definitely wants to get paid the big bucks this offseason, so hopefully this isn't the last time we see him in Anchorage. I likely would re-sign him over Darby, though, because Darby isn't really worth $15 million to put up 30-something goals. So we'll see what happens in the second period. Can we get the lead? Oh, I knew it. I knew it. Rose scores, so former player of ours has currently the game-winning goal. Goalie scores, who's one of the worst players in the bottom six. And then Bedard scores. Well, I think we're turning to Novikov for next game because this is not a great start for Pusher. Shots are around even, so our team is in the game, but they aren't stopping the puck. Our defense is not playing good enough, maybe too. Who knows? But not an ideal game one, especially when we have home ice advantage. Like I was saying, I think we might get cheesed in the series just because the game be like that sometimes. Like maybe we over-simulated during the regular season, so they're just going to come back and bite us in the playoffs. Darby scores to get us back maybe a little bit in this game, but DeMello answers right back for them. And DeMello scores again. Their power play is doing really well. Bomeister gets a goal late to make it 6-3, and they get another goal. Pusher could not stop a single puck in that last few minutes, and we lose 7-3 in game one. That's not good considering we scored first. Hartnell from Keith, Darby from Bomeister and Bobkov, and Bomeister from Claxton and Bobkov. Yeah, we're going to make some adjustments already. That is not a good first game. Gove, their third-line center, had a 4-point game. He probably set up DeMello for both those goals, I guess. Considering I think DeMello, for some reason, is on their second power play unit as a 91. Let's make some adjustments because I am getting concerned already. It might be only one game, but oh my goodness. Pair dropped down to an 83 after one game in the playoffs. This might be it for Avery. It might be it for Avery. Which would suck considering he's currently my best goal scorer of all time. He's got 730 goals. Obviously, he's going to get passed by Asher Vance from Chicago soon, but come on, boys. We need to find a way. Let's see. Anybody I want to change into the lineup? Ooh, -3 for Derek Keith. That top line needs to be maybe changed around a little bit. Let's go Bobkov top line, Hartnell to second line. And we will put Colleen in top pairing, Farrell to third pairing, just get plus all on our defense. And yeah, Novikov is definitely starting. If we lose another game badly, one of these guys will probably get thrown into the lineup to try and inject something into our lineup a little bit. Like maybe even the enforcer, just to break some teeth like I always say. Not a great first game. Let's see if we can rebound from it, because if we at least take one of our 2 home games, that's good. But obviously it would have been better to take the first 2, because obviously we could be for a little bit of trouble considering we're going on the road soon. So here we go, game 2. Can we tie the series at 1 headed to St. Louis? Because if we're down 0-2, that is a bad scenario to start off with. First period, 1-1, I'll take it. Same thing as last game. Bedard scores again, and Darby scores for us. Let's go Darby. He's been good so far this playoff run. 2 goals in 2 games. Shots are 14-8 in favor of us. Can we find a way to take the lead in the second period? Obviously, the second period is where we lost the last game pretty much, so we need to have a better second period here. Second period, 3-2 for us. Okay, I'll take it. Darby scores again, so Darby is definitely trying to get paid just based on playoff performances alone, I think. 3 goals for him in the first 2 games. And now Dryden scores to make it 2-1. Or not 2-1, 2-2. My bad. I can barely even focus apparently. And then Howes gets his first goal of the playoffs this year. Shots are 32-20 in favor of us. So we're outshooting by 12 shots. So their 77 and 78 overall goaltender is outperforming our goaltenders, who are 84 and 82 overall. So oh well, let's see what happens. See if we can lock this game down, get some insurance in the third period, and tie this up going to St. Louis. Come on, boys. Parrott has 100 career playoff goals. Can he get some more in this playoff run? Yes, he can. Why is it always when I mention his name, the guy literally listens to me? I swear this game has some sort of audio feature that's just listening in to me talk about Avery Parrott. And there he is again. I swear. That is exactly what we needed. Captain Avery Parrott. I think he's the captain on this team now, right? I'm pretty sure I should have made him the captain by now. If I didn't, I'm going to go check and see. But great game from Parrott. Helps us out when that game. Same with Darby. So Darby from Claxton and Bobkov. Darby from Claxton and Danner. House from Darby and Claxton. Parrott from Farrell and Bobkov. And Parrott from Bobkov and Bomeister. So yeah, Bobkov's probably playing with Parrott's going to help out a lot. Darby does get first star. Parrott the second star. And Bobkov the third. Let's go. That's a much better game. We just got to keep up with that. We'll definitely keep Novikov in net. And let me go back to... Yeah, we'll just put... wait, 5 assists for who? Bobkov in 2 games. Jeez. Yeah, Bobkov's an assist machine. So we got to always put him next to a good goal scorer. Is basically the thing. Pretty much the same thing with Jansevsky and Vico. They haven't done anything yet in the playoffs, but if you put Jansevsky up here probably with a good shooter like Darby or Hartnell, it might work out really well too. So that might be something we end up doing if we run into some problems. But yeah, we'll definitely go back to Novikov for this game. And we'll see if we're able to take some games in St. Louis. That was a much better game for Parrott. He's now an even in terms of plus minus. He's got 102 playoff goals. Yeah, this might be the last time we see Avery Parrott here. I honestly feel like he could retire this offseason out of nowhere. Well, it's not really out of nowhere, but it is kind of too. So, actually, I was going to take a look and see if I made Avery Parrott the captain. I just want to make sure he's the captain because he definitely deserves it if he isn't already. Yeah, he is. Okay, Parrott, Hartnell, and Keith. Yeah, that's perfect. That is perfect. Those guys have all been here for quite some time, and they know what it takes to win games in the playoffs. So, here we go. We're now in St. Louis. Can we win some games on the road is the question. First period of game number 3. 1-1 again. It's literally the same thing every single game so far. Hartnell scores and LaRose tied it up for them. So, again, our former player seems to like scoring against us, but as long as we can win games, it's okay. Shots are 15-9 in favor of the Blues, but it's a 1-1 game. Second period, 2-1 for us. Let's go. Dmitry Leeson scores his first NHL playoff goal. Let's go. Shots are 25-19 in favor of St. Louis. So far, it's been a good game for Novikov. He's definitely been the better of the 2 goaltenders, and we'll probably keep riding him unless he plays really bad for like a game or something like that. Then we might turn back to pusher, but so far, so good. Let's see what happens in this third period, see if we could lock this down, get some insurance, that type of thing. Come on, boys. Let's get that next one. Penalty kill. Nicely done. Their power play was doing really good, so it's a good kill to have here in this third period. Final few minutes, still only up by a goal. Come on, boys. You got this. Lock it down. And, oh my goodness. Of course. When the game wants you to lose, they allow goals within the final minute. We literally had that third period completely in the bag in a sense, like we were just pretty much locking it down the entire way. But Connor Bedard, of course, he's been unreal in this series, makes it a 2-2 game with 27 seconds left. Shots are 32-25 in favor of St. Louis, and we're going to overtime. This is when we call upon Avery Parrott again, or somebody else on our top 6, or even our bottom 6, anybody on our roster to come through with a big goal. Who wants to be the hero here? Let's see what happens here in this Game 3 situation. Come on, boys. Let's get that next one. Let's get that next one. We didn't try to lock them down that entire third period to lose, so. Hey, let's go. We win in overtime, and it's Parrott. Let's go. I love this guy so much, man. He's literally the best player in this franchise mode. No questions. He has had so many OT winning goals, I'm pretty sure, like, well, let's go. Whenever you call on him, he literally always responds. That's the first player that I feel like that have had that type of like thing with like where you call on a guy and he always comes through. Like I don't even think I had that with Agostino in Arizona, where I would just like be like, hey, can you score a goal, and he'd score. But Parrott, he just does it all. So Hartnell from Darby and Claxton, Leeson from Danner, Parrott from Hausen, Bobkov is the game winner. Let's go, Parrott. Novikov with a great performance as well. Got to salute him. Parrott the second star, and former player of ours, LaRose, gets the third star. We have a 2-1 series lead. Let's go. Much better outcomes so far with Novikov in net. Got to keep on riding with Novikov for now. If we win this game, that would be great. That would be great. Bobkov's now up to 6 assists in 3 games. It's funny that guy doesn't score that much, but I love how much he sets up people. There we go. Parrott has woken up, and he is on a mission. He says, man, this is my last hurrah. We got to go for a Stanley Cup this year, or at least get out of the first round. Here we go. Game number 4. Can we take a 3-1 series lead here headed home? Come on, boys. Let's take 2 games in St. Louis. That would be huge. First period of game number 4. 2-1 St. Louis. That's not great. Parrott did score again, which is great, but Sillinger and LaRose scored. LaRose has been really good against us. It's probably because he's played with Novikov and whatnot that he knows their weaknesses. But shots are 8-6 in favor of us, but it's a 2-1 game. So pretty close first period, but we definitely need to make sure they don't get a lot of goals again, just like in Game 1. Because Game 1 was 1-1 after 1, but then they scored a lot in the second, and then we lost the game pretty much because of that. So let's have a good second period and at least tie the game up. Second period, still 2-1. I guess I'll take it because we're still within 1 goal, but kind of sucks not to tie it up. Shots are 20-14 in favor of the Blues. Novikov is still keeping us in it. Can we tie this game up in a third and get it to at least an overtime scenario? Come on, boys. Come on, let's tie this one up. Parrot, I know you got goals in you. You've been scoring a lot as of lately. I don't want to call it be on you all the time, though, because some of the times you're not going to show up. So it seems like whenever I do, though, he does come up. Final 5 minutes of the third period, still down by a goal. We're not getting enough rubbers to deny, I think. Final minute, and we don't even get a goal in the third period, so we lose 2-1. And unfortunately, even though Novikov has another good performance, it's not enough for our team to win. Parrot with the only goal from Darby and Claxon. Parrot seems to be like the one man that's doing a lot of work on our team. Novikov as well, because he got first star in the loss, so we might need to rework our other lines a little bit to try and get that depth scoring back. Like, at least it's a 2-2 series headed home, which is much better than being down 3-1. But we definitely need to find that depth scoring a little bit, because some guys are scoring consistently, but other guys not so much. Like, Derek Keith only has 1 assist. I'm going to move Claxon to the top line center, Keith the second line, Jansevsky to the second line, Darby to the third line. Darby's been good. He'll help out that line. I don't think... Yeah, most of these players in this line haven't been good, but hopefully Hartnell is good. And in this top line, everybody on this line should be pretty good point-wise. I don't think I'm going to inject any scratches yet. I don't think. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to inject anybody from the depth chart just yet. And then obviously we're going back to Novikov again. He's been really good so far. And obviously, yeah, Pusher has been terrible, so... we might go back to Pusher at some stage. Depends on how Novikov does in this game. Like, if he absolutely gets crapped on, maybe we want to give Pusher a chance, because maybe Novikov can't play so consistently. But we'll see. Here we go. Game 5. We're on home ice. This is a big game. We win this game, we have the chance to eliminate St. Louis in their home building. We lose this game, we need to win 2 straight and get at least to Game 7, which would not be great. So, has Florida been knocked out yet? No, they have not. They're in game number 5, tied at 2. Nashville has swept San Jose, though, so I believe that means Bickle is out of the playoffs already. So that's one big retirement probably coming this offseason. Montreal also made the playoffs, which means Zikov is in the playoffs against the Ottawa Senators right now. So it'll be interesting to see how far Montreal gets with him. But here we go. This is a big game, probably the biggest game of the series so far. Can we take a 3-2 series lead here? First period. 2-1 St. Louis. Same outcome as last game. That's not good. DeMello and Mackey scores. And then Keith scores for us. So good to see Derek Keith getting on the board because he hasn't really done much so far, considering he led our team in points during the regular season. Shots are 12-6 in favor of us. So they have 2 goals on 6 shots. So not looking too good for Novikov's chances of being goaltender next game. Unless he has a much better second and third period. Who knows? Maybe he'll be lights out the rest of the game. But that's not a great start for him. At least we're back within 1. Can we find a way to tie this game up in the second period, or take the lead even for that matter? Second period, 3-1. That's not good. We only have 2 goals in our last 5 periods, I think, of hockey. Something around that. 2 goals in our last 4? Something like that. Anyways, Sullivan, who's one of those lower end guys on the bottom 6, scores. And we're down by 2 goals going into the third. We need to have a good comeback here if we want to have a chance to beat St. Louis, I think, because I feel like we might lose in 6 in the series, or we go to 7 games, and who knows what will happen in that scenario. But come on, guys, the offense is definitely dried up. We need Parrott to somehow spark something here. Come on, let's go, boys. I don't want to have any big retirements this offseason, no, please, because that will be even a bigger slap to the face. Penalty kill, nicely done. Power play for us, we do not capitalize. That's not good. If we would have scored on that, we would have had a chance probably, but of course we didn't. And yeah, our offense is just drying up completely. Parrott scores late. And that's it. Of course. Of course. Yeah, this is definitely Parrott's last season, I think, because sometimes I always feel like players perform really good right at the end of their careers, too. It just seems like something that the sim engine does. We are going into the potential last game of their career for multiple players, so we got to put it all on the table in this next game. Keith from Danner and Hartnell paired. Maybe that's his last goal. Who knows? From Glenn Cross. I wanted to look at the 3 stars, but oh well. Parrott's been really good this playoff round, though. He's got like almost a goal a game, I think, since that first game. Darby's been pretty quiet the last few games. Let's make some rapid adjustments here. And we are going to go back to pusher this game, which might be a risk, but I am willing to take that risk. Let's go back to the original top line. Let's go Vico with Bobkov on the second line and Claxton. Yansevsky with Darby on his offside. We are going to take somebody out of the bottom 6, and I think it's going to be Hagos and maybe Glenn Cross too. Let's see who's scratched. Can any of these guys even win faceoffs? Not really for Lucic. DeMarchi, kind of a little bit better. Sabrin, no. Let's put DeMarchi down the middle since he's a bigger body. Why not? And then we'll also throw in Lucic, I think. Yeah, Lucic. Trying to rework that bottom 6 to try and get it to being a little bit better here. Yeah, I don't really know what we need to do to make this team better. Let's go Kalinin with Bouwmeester, Smith Pelly with Danner. And then, yeah, we're going to go back to pusher, even though he was terrible in game 1. Novikov has actually still been really good, but, I don't know. Actually, maybe I'll go back to Novikov. Yeah, I don't know if I trust pusher yet. Yeah, we're going to go back to Novikov. Risk it. He might be a little bit tired, so hopefully not too much, but hopefully we can force the game 7 here. Come on, please, boys. I do not want to lose anybody to retirement this offseason if we lose this game here. Because if that was the last time we see Parrott, it would not be good. Okay, here we go. Real-time simulation. One of the biggest games of this franchise mode. Sorry, my voice is going on me. Sorry, I had to pause. My voice is literally trying to go on me, but Darby scored already, which is great. Oh, there we go. Power play for Russ. Come on, boys. We're only at 4 times simulation. Jeez, I need to put it up to 8 times. Darby scores another power play goal, and then they get one back. And it wasn't a power play goal, and I'm kind of biting my tongue about not putting in pusher. We had a 2-0 lead because of 2 power play goals. Darby was quiet, and now he's woken up, but now Novikov is not playing great. Danner with a late goal in the first period. We have a 3-2 lead after 1. This is a very offensive game compared to the last few games, so at least we're scoring goals. Come on, boys. We got to force a game 7. We got to force a game 7 because this might be the last time we see multiple players on this team. We got to do it for them. Power play opportunity. Our power play has been good tonight, but it does not capitalize there, and Parrott scores. Let's go. Let's go, Parrott. Parrott's trying to will this team to a win. He's doing everything he can. And we are a period away from going to a game 7. We just have to have a really strong third period here. Shots are 24-18, so Novikov improved a bit in that second period for sure, but still not his best effort. Let's see what happens in this third period, see if we can lock it down and force a game 7 back on home ice. Come on, boys. Come on. Let's lock it down. Lock it down. But yeah, Parrott's up to like 6 or 7 goals, I think, this postseason, which is already more than last year. So the guy's trying to go out with a lot of goals like he normally does. And we are going to be going to a game 7 as Bouwmeester gets the empty netter. And yeah, game 7 will be on home ice. So if this is the last game for a lot of guys, at least they get to play in front of the home crowd for one last time. But Darby from Keith and Claxton, Darby from Parrott and Keith, Danner from Parrott and Hartnell, Parrott from Keith and Hartnell, and Bouwmeester from Keith. I think Parrott had like 4 points that game. Yeah, no, Parrott had 3 points. Keith had 4 points. Jeez. So yeah, Keith has woken up. That's great. And Darby had another good game too. So hopefully those guys are woken up still for the next game because this is all or nothing. We lose this game, We lose in round 1, which would not be great. We win. We go to the second round where we'll probably face either the Canucks, Jets, or the Preds. Montreal has won round 1, which means Zikov is off to round 2 unless he was traded, which I don't think he was, but who knows. Morgan Denny and the Florida Panthers, after their incredible season, are going to a Game 7. So I think Buffalo might upset them. Who knows. Carolina and Columbus are also off to the next round. Okay, let's make sure our lines are set. Yeah, Parrots leading the team in points and goals, of course. Let's go back to edit lines here. Yeah, we gotta keep riding with Novikov. It's do or die with Novikov. Hagos and Glencross are still gonna be scratched, and Sabrin is not gonna be get thrown in yet, but maybe he will at some point. Who knows? Yeah, we'll keep with this. We'll keep with this. Game 7. Looking to get to the second round. Well, if we lose this game, we might suffer some heartbreaks. So get prepared for that, guys, because that might happen. And I am going to go through retirements in this episode, so you might want to stick around if we do lose this game. But let's not lose this game. Here we go. Game 7 on home ice to win the first round, to get to the second round again. Time simulation, real-time simulation 2. Let's get this done. We won last game. Let's win this game. And of course, they open the scoring, and it's the 72 overall player I was talking about. No. You can never underestimate a player based on overall. That's something to take away from that. And we're down 1-0 after 1. So not a bad first period. We're still in this game, but obviously we need our offense to find a way to score a goal in the second period. So Avery needs to start something here. Shots are 10-9. I almost said 10-6. 10-9 in favor of us, but we're down by a goal. We need that next one, boys. Let's get it done. We scored 4 goals last game, or 5 goals last game. Hey, let's go. Lane DeMarchi, his first career playoff goal, but of course their second line, which is really good. Ernie makes it 2-1 for the Blues. Power play for us. We don't score. Come on, boys. We need that next one. We need that next one. Come on, Parrott, Keith, somebody. Let's go. Darby has got another one. It's a 2-2 game going into the third. No, it's not. Leeson, the rookie, has given us a 3-2 lead in the final minute of that second period. Okay. Okay, this is a very nerve-wracking game. Shots are 20-19 in favor of us. We're only up by a goal. We need some insurance to lock this down and lock down this series here. Is this the last time also we see some of these big-name players? Who knows? But let's get it done. Let's get this win. Let's get this win, boys. Let's get this win. Avery Barrett, I'm going to call on you, man. No, Ernie scores and it's 3-3. Oh, man, if it goes to overtime, we might actually have to watch, to be honest. Come on, boys. This has been a really back-and-forth game. Power play late, please. No. And we're going to overtime in Game 7. Well, this episode's already like 28 minutes, but we have to watch overtime because the series is on the line. And we have to see maybe the last time to see a lot of these players in action too. So we are definitely watching this. Hopefully it does not go super, super long, because or else this episode, I might have to cut overtime into like a highlight format if it is very long. But let's get into this. See if we're able to get that win in overtime and go to the second round. Even if we get to the second round, how far are we going to get this playoff run? I don't know. Here, Smith-Pelly throws it to Danner, over to Keith. Keith can't get by. Hartnell intercepts that pass. Come on, Hartnell. Hartnell throws it back to the defenseman Smith-Pelly, who for some reason is going back into our zone. I don't know why. Here's Parrott, the captain, finds Danner, over to Keith. Keith can't get to it. Come on, Keith. Keith is holding on to Cardwell quite long, but he doesn't get a holding penalty, which is good. Because I was kind of worried about that. Hartnell chasing down a guy. Here's Connor Bedard finding Ernie. Get it away, boys. No! You gotta be joking me, game. Well, that was early, but no. Ernie scores an overtime on a broken play, and your Ice Tigers are out in round 1 on the first shot of the overtime period. No, and now we're going to probably get retirements, and that's going to be a slap in the face. Damn it. We should have been the team to win this series easily, but we got cheesed in 7 games. Obviously, St. Louis has some really good players, so I do understand that partly, but their depth is not that good. And their goaltending especially shouldn't be that good, but unfortunately, we lose off that broken play. I don't know what Smith Pelly was doing. Probably should have been a bit more physical on that play, but there's the game-winning goal. Ernie looking like Tarasenko out there with 91. Like, and a good poke there, but then this is something you gotta stop if you're Novikov. It's just a normal wrist shot. Just gotta stick out the blocker and stop that, but he doesn't. And yeah, we're out in round 1. Is this the last time we see Avery Parrott? Is this the last time we see the man? Hopefully not. Hopefully not. Hopefully he comes back in another year. Not the last time we see Derek Heath for sure, but hopefully we continue to hold on to him for the rest of his career. And then there's a few other players that might retire that are probably on the bench, like Claxton, for example. Yeah, Claxton, who's down on this line here, the guy with the stash. This is maybe his last game. We also have, who else? Kalinin and stuff like that, I think, down here somewhere. Yeah, Kalinin and Farrell, they're both right next to each other, so perfect on that. The two of these D-men here might hang them up as well. So salute to all 4 of those guys if they decide to retire. And unfortunately, yeah, we lose in round 1. Yancevsky, the rookie, had 2 assists in that game. Leeson looked like he got us potentially to the next round, but it wasn't enough. And yeah, Ernie had a hat trick and an assist. Ernie was a big part of the reason why they won that game. 4 points out of the 4 goals they scored. Well, that sucks. Really sucks, but a window might be closed now. That might have been just closing in our face because we are very low on time in the series left, but damn, that sucks. Let's take a look at our player stats for the playoffs, and it will simulate to the retirements because, like I said, we're doing retirements in this episode. And we'll take a look at awards and all that stuff too, but Darby was fantastic. Parrott was fantastic. Is this the last time we see Avery Parrott? I really hope not. I really hope not. Claxton might be the last time we see him as well. He was point per game as well in the playoffs. Yeah, it's going to suck losing some of these guys because more than likely we'll at least have 1 retirement, I'd say. More than likely. Should I have started Pusher for Game 7? I don't know. That sucks. That sucks. At least we have 2 cups in this franchise mode, so I shouldn't really be that upset about it, but it just sucks because we're going to have retirements and it's going to be worse. Hopefully a former player wins the Stanley Cup then, which means hopefully LaRose on St. Louis does, or Zikov in Montreal. I don't know who else is out there, but please don't retire, Parrott. Florida won the Stanley Cup and the President's Trophy, so of course the year we don't win the President's Trophy, they actually win a Stanley Cup. So Morgan Denny has won a Stanley Cup again, because I think he won some with us too, if I'm not mistaken. Florida wins the Stanley Cup over the St. Louis Blues. So at least we lost to the best team in the West. But that team should not have gotten that far based on their regular season and their depth, at least in my eyes. Florida took out Carolina in the conference finals as well. That's funny, in 5 games. Damn. Let's take a look at that Florida Panthers team just to see if there's any other former players on that team that I don't know about. So let's start off here. Let's look through the lineup. Nobody that I know really there. Pedro Correa. What a name. There's Lowry, who we were just looking at, that was leading the league in points and stuff in the regular season. Defensively, Morgan Denny only had 5 assists in 24 playoff games. But, yeah, he's a Stanley Cup champion, I believe, for the 2nd or 3rd time, maybe. Yeah, this actually might be his 3rd cup. He might have won 2 Stanley Cups with us. I think he did, yeah. He won 2 Stanley Cups with us, wins 1 with Florida, so he's a 3-time Cup champion now, I think. So that's kind of crazy. And Rolston. Milan McCulloch, the defenseman. Their goaltender was good. Jonathan Reisner. So there is that. Let's take a look at the award winners. So Florida winning the Stanley Cup. It's been now 4 seasons since we won. Or 4 seasons. And yeah, we won the President's Trophy last year, but we didn't get far. Florida wins the President's Trophy this year and wins the Stanley Cup. That sucks. Lowry the Art Ross, Ernie the Hart, and he knocked us out. Denny the Norris, so our former defenseman gets his second Norris. He won a Norris with us. We let him go because we couldn't afford the $17 million, but he might be worth it. Who knows? Beckett wins the Bing. Yansevsky won the Calder for us, so that's a nice positive to take away. Rome wins the Conn Smythe for Florida. Pettinen the Vezina and the Jennings. Haynes the Masterton. Law the Jack Adams. Neiman in the Selke. Ernie wins the Lindsay. And Tuomainen wins the Richard. AHL-wise, any awards for our AHL team? That's our former goaltender, Volk. I guess he got signed by Chicago Wolves. Yeah, I think that's our former goaltender. That's cool. I wanted to sign him again, but I didn't end up. So there's that. Maybe he'll come back next season. Because maybe we just need cheese goalies again to win a Stanley Cup. Or the lack of Aiden Tays is the problem. So there's that. Let's get to the retirements and rip off the Band-Aid. Even though this episode's been long, I need to find out. Boston won the draft lottery going from 8 to 1. Damn. Tampa, Arizona, Toronto, and Detroit. How would the mighty have fallen in this franchise mode? Let's see. Did we lose Avery Parrott? We did not. We did not lose Avery Parrott. Okay, that's good. But we did. There was a lot of former players. Let's start off with centers. Former players, well, we did play Malachi Gallant quite a bit. This guy retires with a really good career. Valery Zykov retires with no Stanley Cups, I'm pretty certain. That really kind of sucks. I wanted to win him a Stanley Cup, but yeah, he never won a Stanley Cup in his career. He had the one chance with us back when we played Florida, but after that, never won a Stanley Cup. So shout out to Zykov and best of luck in retirement to him. That's probably one of the bigger ones of former players. Any other former players down here that I completely forgot about? Nope. Frederick Bickles, another big one. He retires at 37. He had a really good last season in the NHL too. 758 goals, so he will finish probably with around the same amount of goals as Parrott, which is interesting. But Parrott will be back for another season at least. So there you go on Bickle, out in the first round. Any other former players? Best of luck to Bickle in retirement as well. Man, it's crazy when the age-generated guys start to retire. You know that you're really deep into the franchise mode at that point. Any other former players? Nobody else on offense. Former defenders of us. Dmitry Moroza retires with the LA Kings, who looked like they were going to be a playoff team, and then they fell apart. He was actually traded to them from New Jersey, and then they missed the playoffs. I believe he won a Stanley Cup with Anaheim, but he didn't win one with us. But yeah, Dmitry Moroza was a pretty good steal back in 2025. That one kind of sucks. So there's 3 former players. Anybody else that I recognize? Because sometimes I forget these names. Trey Farrell did retire for us. So there's one retirement. Former 5th round pick. He retires at 34. Came back to us on multiple accounts as like a top 6D man because we really needed it. Solid player. Sucks to see him go. But there's his final numbers in the NHL. And Mikhail Kalinin as well. Thought both those guys were going to go. Mikhail Kalinin has retired. He came back to us as well on multiple accounts and did win a Stanley Cup at one point with us, which was great. Sucks to see him go, but it makes sense as well. So best of luck to Kalinin and to Farrell in retirement. And I think that might be it. Oh, Shannon Eichel as well. Okay, at 34. 81 points in 258 games. He dropped off a lot, but solid player. Solid player. Like, I mean, 25 points 1 year, 30 points. Like, he won a Stanley Cup too with us, right? Yeah, he did. Yeah. Damn. 5 former players retiring this year. Nobody on our current roster really other than those 2 defensemen, though. Solovyov. No. I thought that might have been a former player, but must have been a different Solovyov. Goalie-wise, no former goaltenders retired. So the only big ones really to note is Bickle and Zykov. Those two guys, I don't know if they make the Channel Hall of Fame or what. Bickle obviously left quite early into his career, played a lot with Dallas. Zykov we had to let go of at one point, but he was pretty solid too. But sucks to see those guys retire, but that is the retirements for this season. I'm still glad at least that Parrott didn't retire, because I think that was the one I was expecting the most, was Parrott and Claxton, but they didn't retire, so they'll be back for another year, which is good. We do lose a coach. I don't know where he was, but Jacques Giroux. And Burnaby did not lose a coach. Good. And then we lost 3 of our scouts, so we got to kind of remember about that, so if you guys could remind me, that'd be great. So there's that, and let's take a look at the draft class, the progress reports, and the contract situation. So first and foremost, the progress reports, I guess. Yeah, Parrott's dropping off a lot. He is very close to probably retiring. A lot of statistical growth has him up this high, but he probably will finish up as a higher goal scorer than Bickle. Probably. If he has another 30 goal a year at least in him. Claxton as well is dropping off a lot. He's down to an 80 overall. But we'll still likely have him as a second line center. Oh man. Klepis is fantastic. He just got a ton of growth. 79-20, so that's fantastic for us. He's going to get into the lineup. And he had actually a pretty good second year as well in the AHL, so that's great, because our defensive core is going to take a hit if we lose like Danner or Bowister. So Klepis jumping up that much is exactly what we needed. Jancevski is getting some good growth. Leeson as well. So it's good to see at least some of our prospects are growing. But is it too little too late is the question. In the system-wise, anybody grows super crazy? Loins is up to a 77. Tulipov is also a 77 and a defenseman. So, yeah, we have some guys in the system that are actually getting probably very close to jumping in. Like Hayden could honestly be a backup goaltender next season. Yeah, I like that we're getting the growth, because it could end up helping us out quite a bit in these last 2 years. But at the same time, are we going to actually be a playoff team is the question, with the regression of some big guys. So there is all of that. Let's take a look at the contract situation now. See who's up for renewal again. So yeah, Ricardo Hartnell's the big one, and he is expensive, but I probably would do that and prioritize him, and probably prioritize Danner over somebody like Darby. Darby doesn't want super much, though, is the good thing. So, yeah, the 4 of those guys are going to be really expensive. And then Jancevski only has, I think, 1 year left of RFA status, and he wants $8 million. So we're likely going to have to qualify him for half of the offseason and then maybe give him a bigger contract after that. I don't know, but we might lose Jancevski quite quick. Sabrin, he's relatively cheap. I think we might be able to afford a good amount of these players, but we also might lose a lot of these kind of 78, 79 depth type of options. So that's a bit concerning. But at least we should have an okay team still next year, I think. And then goalie wise, Bissick is a 79. He wants a one-way deal, but not much. We could run him as a backup next season, but the only problem is we do have that 77 in the system in Hayden, who could jump up potentially. And yeah, Pusher and Novikov are both still signed for at least another year. Yeah, I don't know what we do goalie-wise. I do not know what we do with that. Final thing, draft class. Let's take a look at this, see what we're looking at for potential draft picks. So, where are we drafting? 25th, something like that, my guess. 29th. Oh my god. Yeah, see, we made the playoffs by having a really good season, but we also have a really late pick now. Even though we are a first-round exit. Oh, that's not good. Hopefully we can find something good down this stretch, though. Medium top 9, that's not good. Guaranteed medium 6, though. I'll probably pin Sawyer Foot, because why not? Gene McNabb as well. Probably a guaranteed top 6 at this stage is the best route of action for our team. I'll just pin all these top 6s. Because why not? Let's also go here and sort by potential, see if we got any medium elite or low elite steals that we could draft in later rounds. Dan Hartman looks decent, but he's 20. Don't know if he's actually medium elite either. Brewer, 5 years out, too long term. A lot of the guys that are like 5+ years, it's like impossible for us. Ragnarsson might be good. He guaranteed has make it snappy. I think Ragnarsson has to be probably our first rounder, but he might be our second round pick. But he could go earlier is the problem. He's just a pure shooting kind of guy. He might end up being similar to Vico. He might not be lowly. He might be low top 6 too. So that's a bit concerning. But 4 years out and guaranteed X factors, I think he's lowly. We'll pin Booth as well since he's 3 bars. Butsayev might be decent too. We'll pin him. Cameron Ott. Well, we'll just pin all these guys that could be low leads almost. And then we'll kind of weigh our options a little bit next episode. Yeah, that's pretty much that. So anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of our Anchorage Ice Tigers Draft Glory franchise mode. So in next episode, we'll take it to another offseason, but time is definitely not in our favor to win another Stanley Cup, but we'll see if anybody ends up retiring over these next few seasons, or if we get any crazy guys developing that might help us get over the top again. So anything down below, and I'll see you guys next time.